Delving into ancient Jewish texts and deciphering Hebrew's hidden meanings, Rabbi Daniel Lapin welcomes you to Tower of Power, Decoding Secrets of Babel. Now, here is today's program.
Well, hello, and let me introduce myself. I am Rabbi Daniel Lapin, and this is my beautiful wife, Susan, who I should tell you is a sharpshooter. Her specialty is 25 yards with a .357 Magnum revolver. And all I can tell you is that uninvited visitors late at night to the Lapin household, well, it's possible I might miss you, but Mrs. Lapin, she won't.
This must have some connection to the topic, but I'm not sure what it is.
Oh, absolutely. No, very much so. And what it has to do with is our basic mission, which is to make ancient Jewish wisdom accessible to everybody. And we live near the city of Seattle in Washington, and we travel the entire country. As a matter of fact, we even travel outside the country in order to make sure that as many people as possible are equipped with the tools to be able to understand and gain insight into what lies behind today's headlines, and what is the real story behind the Bible stories, and what do you need to know that transforms Scripture from strange stories and weird legends into a living, breathing map to how to run your life in matters of family and friendships, faith, finances. Everything is found within the Bible. And you know, this used to be clearly known because I'm always fascinated by history, and when you were homeschooling the children,
we did
an awful lot of history. And so from an early age, our children knew about the founding of the United States of America. They also knew about the second governor of the Plymouth colony, and his name was William Bradford. He came over on the Mayflower, a deeply religious Christian who actually wrote the first 20 pages or so of the manuscript of his history of the Plymouth plantation. He wrote that in Hebrew, and I've actually got Xeroxes of that manuscript. It's extraordinary, and he actually says there, he says, you know, if you ever want to know why it is that I found it necessary to study Hebrew, the Lord's language, he said, I had to do it, because this is the language in which God spoke to the patriarchs of old. This is language in which Adam named everything. Everybody has to know, and everybody has to understand it. Well, we're not going to be teaching people to read and understand Hebrew.
Write 20 pages.
And in the next few minutes, we're not going to be able to teach people how to talk Hebrew. No, we're not going to do any of that.
But they should at least know what a part of their heritage it is. And it wasn't just Bradford wasn't an exception. Up until the 1900s, a commencement speech at Harvard was given in Hebrew every year. I mean, all the universities that were founded in the 1600s, in the 1700s, were actually Bible seminaries. They were founded to teach the Bible to Christian youth.
Well, one of the great Christian preachers of the colonial times was Cotton Mather, and he actually referred to Yale University as our New England, and now he uses a Hebrew word, Beit Midrash, which means house of study, or a Bible seminary. That's how they used to think of universities in those days.
So they knew the Bible in the original Hebrew, and that's one of our missions, is to share that so that everybody can at least have an inkling into the ancient Hebrew and what it reveals about Scripture.
And we like to use as an analogy the instruction manual that you find in the glove box of your new car. You don't throw that away. That tells you how to get maximum safe and lengthy usage from your car. Well, in exactly the same way, knowing how to understand the deep insights buried like treasure within Scripture will provide you with insights into how to improve every aspect of your life, financial and social and religious, everything. Why don't we talk about an example, shall we?
Okay.
Well, God at the beginning of Genesis seems to be very cheerful. I mean, everything's
good.
Wonderful, right? Whatever God makes, he looks at it and it was good. I mean, like everything. It's incredible. And only at oh, by the way, the 8th time that God says it was good is?
Gold.
Gold.
That's a whole nother topic in itself.
But it's a very important topic, because if we feel that money is evil, then we mustn't
have
be
no hope for
surprised
it.
if we never have any of it, because we are created as souls. God touched us, and we don't do real well at things that we feel bad about.
No.
And so the eighth thing that God says is good is the gold, and of course gold is the metaphor for money throughout all of Western civilization's long and exciting history. And then, for the very first time, we kind of see God getting a bit grumpy.
We do. And
First time.
what is it?
What's it about? Not good. It's the first time God said something not good. I'm all on the edge of my seat, like, what is it? What's not good? Everything's been terrific up till now. Not good for man to be alone. Now, let's for a start not fall into the trap of thinking that that applies only to Adam's matrimonial prospects. This is not only about whether Adam is going to get married now or not, or whether God is going to now create Eve. That is true. That is a specific application of the general principle. It's a specific application to Adam. But the general principle applies to all of us.
Like the Bible
Not good
is
for
really
man
like
to be
an
alone.
onion, where you can look at the outer surface, and on the outer surface it means, I think I better make a helpmate for Adam. But you can peel off that outer surface, and now we have a lower meaning.
Well, what does it mean to say not good for man to be alone? Why doesn't it say not good for women to be alone? Well, women alone, let me put it this way. Let's say you are, your car breaks down in a very, very scary part of town, late one night, it's very dark, no street lights. You are terrified. And guess what? Doesn't it always happen like this? Your cell phone's out of batteries. And you see 6 large-ish figures approaching you from the end of this alley, and you are terrified. You don't know what is about to happen. And all you can see, sort of silhouetted in the darkness, you just see these are 6 silhouettes coming at you. Tell me something. Would you be relieved to find out that it's 6 girls instead of 6 men? I think so.